You're welcome to the program. It's Good Afternoon, Ghana, and it's 2 p.m. We're going to analyze the issues that are making rounds today, and that has to do with you and your responsibility of registering or re-registering your SIM card using the Ghana card. It has definitely attracted some controversy right from when the announcement was made that you have to go and re-register your SIM card. In the latter days, a lot of people were rushing into the NIA offices, making an attempt or efforts to get their Ghana card. The news captured it's at its headlines that members were struggling, or Ghanaians were struggling to get a Ghana card because there seemed to have been a shortage of even issuing Ghana cards. Some were being given 3 months, come after 3 months to collect your cards. Others were being given 5 months and, some more. Some differences also, we will have some videos maybe for you so you have an idea how the nature of the complaints that people were given. Now, the new also advisors coming in from the side of the government or communicators for government is that some of you sit and wait on the 9th hour to the, closing date, and then you rush into the offices. You have to change your lifestyle. Don't be an evil corrupter. Learn the right way, do it in time, and register. But are some of these issues that are, coming against that of the government, from the communications ministry, are they legitimate for us to look into, for value for money, to use monies judiciously as a country, considering the state in which we're in? Maybe yes, maybe no, but we'll have some experts in the house to do this communication. This afternoon, I'll be speaking with the Honorable Member of Parliament, Francis Xavier Sosu. He is Member of Parliament for Madina constituency. Now, I will also have Maximus. Maximus Ametorgoh will be with us. He's a technology analyst to help us understand some of the questions that are being raised. Some of you are asking that, well, we have captured our biometric features in the lot of registrations that we've been doing with the cards, passports, and others. Why can't government just put it all together and do this re-registration since our numbers are captured alongside? Is this possible? Maximus will give us some education on that as well. I am Ania Fampof. I'll be moderating the show from now to 3 p.m. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll set the ball rolling. Welcome back. Let's get to the Minister of Communication, Eslo Usu, who has been speaking to us over the weekend to tell us what she intends to do. She said that she, extended the date to September 30, and she did that with some sort of reluctance. Let's hear her.
The SIM registration app will be available for download on both Android and iOS this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Each registration via the app will be subject to a 5 cedi surcharge. You will pay 5 cedis to register yourself on the SIM registration app. Non-resident Ghanaians who do not have the Ghana card can use their passports to complete the process via the app, but will be required to update their details with the Ghana card once they acquire it. They have up to December 2022 to do so. I urge them to comply with these directives and to contact the NCA if they have any peculiar challenges. Ghanaians on official assignment outside the country or students on scholarships who cannot acquire the Ghana card by December should also contact the NCA. Special provision has already been made for members of the diplomatic corps in consultation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, and they have been notified. It's also come to my knowledge that amputees and others who have some physical challenge are also a category of persons who are having some difficulties registering their SIMs. We will have discussions with the NIA on how to resolve these challenges. All visitors to Ghana can now acquire SIMs with their passports, and I encourage the airport authority to work with the network operators to provide adequate venues for the acquisition of SIMs at the airport. As indicated earlier, these will be valid for 3 months, and if they want to use them for a longer period, they must acquire the non-citizen ID card to validate their SIMs.
All right, so that's also to remind you that there's an app that's being created for you, or it's been created for you. If you have to use that app, that's if you cannot go visit any of the NIA offices, that's the app that you have to use, by reminding you that you need to pay 5 cedis for it for the use of that app. Let's listen to Sam Jetta George, or Sam Nete George, who is MP for Ningo Pram constituency. He has been quite vociferous on this issue. Is a member of the Communications Committee as well in Parliament. Let's take a listen.
Trust me, it will fail again.
Is that what you're calling for doom?
It's not me. It's me being realistic. You see, technology is not a faith-based arena, and hope is not a strategy when you are dealing with tech. Yesterday, several media houses reported that the application for registration, even for the telcos, crashed. True or false? Because of the pressure on the system. You have an application that is now being launched. In about, 8 months or in about 10 months since this was launched in October, you've been able to register only 32%. 32% of SIM cards. The minister, per her own statistics, tells you there are 42 million active SIM cards. Let's even assume that every individual has 2 SIM cards, which is not the case. You are looking at 21 unique persons, 21 million unique individuals. She tells you that the NIA, as at 21st of July, had issued only 15.5 million. The NIA has been issuing cards since 2018. They've been able to issue only 15.5. And you think that because Esla also has a magic wand that she's waving, in 2 months, the NIA will be able to print the remaining 6 million cards, even if that's all we're looking at to get 21 million people? Do you think that is possible? And that's what I'm saying. She's set herself up again for ridicule, because that is not, and you don't even know. She herself, in her press statement, said she hopes, barring any technical glitches, that the app will be available on the 2nd of August. What shows that when that app comes, there will be no bug issues. There will be no glitches. There will be no downtimes. You have not rolled it out. You have not done the stress. You've not had you've not gone live to see how the performance is in the first week, and you are setting deadlines. That's why I said this shambolic performance of the Minister for Communications and Digitalizations will be studied for years in public policy classrooms across the world.
We go back to the Minister of Communications, Esla Usu, on the app.
A app developed by private service providers. And that's the fee for using it for your convenience. Emrane say no unregistered SIM should be activated on any network.
No unregistered.
No unregistered SIM.
It is law.
It is law. Enti yeah register ya kra ye use no gram illegal. All these years, because there were challenges in here, near to me register and near to me enforce it, provision. And that the main challenge na omo cited for their inability to register SIMs before activating them. Then they said they couldn't verify the identity documents. No? And that to me verify. That's why I insisted say ubia and register you.
Now, we will go back to listen to another bite on this same. Okay, so let's do the slides first. I think I've been presented with some slides. So this one is on current SIM registration statistics. The total number of SIM cards registration for existing subscribers are presented as below. So the national registration details as of 28th of July 2022, void SIM cards. So the category, total voice SIMs, we have 42,121,921. That's 100%. Now, stage 1 registrations, we have 25,260,661. 60% stage. Stage 1 unregistered SIMs, we have 16 million. 861,260, that's 40% stage. And then stage 2 registration, restrictions at 60,059,350, making 38%. Stage 2 unregistered SIMs is at 26,062,571. It is at 62% stage. Right. We also have SIM registration app. The SIM registration app will be available for download on both Android and iOS this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Each registration via the app will be subject to a 5 cedis surcharge. All right, Maximus, thank you for joining us. You're welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana, and I hope you're doing well. Hello, Maximus. Okay, I can see you. I think, right, you have unmuted now.
Right, that's all, yes.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to speak to us. So first, I want us, before we come to the bigger picture of the SIM card registration, let's deal with the app. I just read, as the minister said earlier, that the SIM registration app will be available for download, Android on iOS this week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. What did she seek to say?
You know, she's also placing conditionality on the availability of the app or even the functionality of the app. So
Exactly.
I'm sure, yeah, the app, it hasn't been tested. It hasn't been, you have to submit the app to the app stores for them to even approve before it comes even live for people to download. I was thinking that before she announced this, they should have done all that, tested the app before. So when you announce that we've extended it, this is the app, go and download it and start using it from today, from the day she announced, but it hasn't been done. And then on top of that, you want to gate off a lot of people because you want to charge 5 cedis per registration. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't solve the problem. I think the app should be free for people to use. The telcos have designed their own platforms that they are using to, register the millions of subscribers that they have. And if they're helping government out, I think it's fair for them to the government to also make the app for free.
Let's assume the app was available or were available today, and this 5 cedis surcharge is possible. How is an app that was made free for government, its usage, be charged on the people who are using it?
Yeah, I think it doesn't. It's a disincentive, really, for the 5 cedis to be charged for people who want to re-register their SIM. We are talking about re-registration, not new registration, right? So it was a flaw on the part of policy for even SIM cards to be activated without due registration documents, right? Or the approved registration document. So it's not the fault of those who are using active SIM cards without it being linked to a recognized identity card like the Ghana card. So for me, if you want to solve the problem of the cybercrime that the minister is mentioning, which will cost the country millions of dollars, investing less than $1 million or some small amount of money to create an app for people to use for free, I think is way better. It's less expensive and cheaper than trying to solve a problem by creating another problem. For me, this app should have been there long ago. It shouldn't even be the idea of the telcos, creating their own portals for their subscribers to register. NCA should have done this long ago so that from the onset, you register people with the app. So it becomes easier. You just pipe the content to the server that you want to verify, and people can work with their Ghana card to do that registration. And you can also have stations at the various NIA places so that when I'm done, registering and having my card, I just walk to a booth, a SIM registration booth to activate my SIM card, right? Or link my SIM card to the Ghana card. I think the process design and the product design was flawed from the onset. And this 30th September deadline will not work.
When you any app that's designed, I mean, there are lots of many apps we're using today. How much or what's the minimum charge we pay on an app we use today?
It depends on which app you use. Some apps, in the technology space, there's a business model which says that if you are using an app for free means you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, we are the product for government because you want to solve a cybercrime problem. So you must have everybody registered. What is the cost per subscriber if we don't register? It's higher than that 5 cedis. So why don't you make the app, the thing for free so that we can all register? You can identify everyone who makes calls on a device, a SIM card enabled device in Ghana. We use WhatsApp for free. We use Gmail and the rest, even though of course, those platforms also make money from advertising within the app.
Right.
So it depends on how you design your platform. That, okay, instead of charging 5 cedis, we are going to advertise on the homepage. Before you log in, you see an advert before you register. Mm-hmm. It's the same model, and you still make money, give visibility to a brand out is interested in exposing their brand to more eyeballs, so you can still serve the same purpose. So people can do their registration for free without having to pay 5 cedis per registration. So if you have 4 SIM cards, it means you are paying 20 cedis. It doesn't make sense to me.
So even before the availability of the app, you can detect the loopholes of the whole design of this app.
No, not even the design. The whole process of the SIM registration, re-registration.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to delve into the registration, but the app itself, I'm saying that with we're being told, should it be ready today and someone is using, the person will be paying 5 Ghana cedis. So I'm just saying that from where by your expertise, you can tell that there's something wrong with this app.
There's going to be a challenge because you see, we are going to have millions of people. And remember, the telcos, they have the resource to be able to take traffic, and their system went down over the weekend. And what shows that the government, the app that we are going to build or we are going to launch is going to be able to take that traffic and logging in concurrently, signing and submitting content concurrently, calling, even pulling the prompt for payment concurrently. All these things are going to put pressure on the app. The app is going to crash at some point. That is obvious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the app issue, let's put it aside. Let's get to the SIM registration process itself. The common question that people are asking, and I will pose that to you, is there a challenge, for government to make use of the data, biometric data it has collected from its citizens in terms of passport registration, Ghana card itself, to do this procedure without having Ghanaians queue again at any particular point to do a SIM re-registration?
I said on other platforms, from policy standpoint, we should have designed a centralized data management system to manage all these processes so that NAIA, who is in charge of identification in Ghana, should be able to link all the other government agencies or other agencies who are interested in identifying Ghanaians or authenticating their identity to plug into that centralized system, either at a fee or they invest in designing this data centralized system that the NHIA has, so that when DVLA wants to identify you, you just use the same portal. They can make available some data sets, as in the various data they've collected on a person can be made available to whichever organizations, whether it's SNID, driver's license, electoral commission, or any other person who is interested, or the banks as well, so that you point to the same centralized system instead of collecting your biodata all over again and trying to authenticate your identity on a different platform and then linking it to another platform, which is the Ghana card, which has its own platform elsewhere. So if this platform does not work in the future, there's going to be a challenge again, right? So how do you identify people? You use passport and then driver's license to register the Ghana card. And then you put in a phone number. You use a phone number also to do the registration. Now you are going to use the card to do the registration of the phone number again, when you can equally, authenticate the phone number just at that point without the person going to do a whole re-registration of all their phone numbers. More so, if I am a subscriber, I may have multiple SIM cards or multiple modems, right, for my business or as an individual. So if I registered one number, all you do is link those other numbers that I own to the same number as what we call an index number, or the first number. Then Maximus owns this primary number, and these are the other numbers Maximus owns. So I don't need to go and then input those registration process physically all over again. It's a waste of time. I said that technology is a product of convenience, and you don't need inconvenience to sell it. That is what is happening.
How do you think the NIA has been designed to capture data?
NIA has been designed to be part of the identification process of Ghanaians, or whoever becomes Ghanaians, for so long as the country.
Just so you are clear on why I'm asking the question, because you mentioned the centralized data management system that we should have created, at least by now. If we had that centralized data management system, then it means that all the data we collected within all the institutions, or for all the institutions, should have been in that data. And it will be easy for us to go into it and pick whatever data that we want. But as it is now, we don't seem to have it. And everything is always done new, which people are even beginning to question the credibility of data we collect, each time. So how do you think that the NIA is designed such that it lacks this basic necessity that it should, first of all, have?
I think that's the main reason why the NIA has been set up. And I think that's a brilliant move. So nobody should bypass that. Nobody should go and start creating their own silo databases and trying to use the NIA, the Ghana card, to authenticate their data. So the NIA should be the centralized portal for all of that, henceforth.
So, I mean, the NIA should be, is it?
Yeah, for now, all the data they've been collecting shows that at least they can identify who a Ghanaian is, who a foreigner is. So if, for example, when I was going to register, they could have equally asked me, do you own a car? Do you own a particular property that they can even update my profile with, so that directly is linked to DVLA. My passport is used, so I have my passport there in the system. So any other thing should point to the same thing. So if you go to the Lands Commission to register your land, they should link that one to also to your Ghana card. So it goes into the same NIA database, so that we have a centralized system that we can all depend on. SNID linked, banks linked, even schools. Because now NIA, if you give birth to a child, they can also register. That is the whole idea. So the person has the card from birth, so they can use the same card throughout their lifetime. And that's how you build a credible, reliable, centralized system. It's for a lifetime, not capping with deadlines And I wouldn't mind deadline if everybody has a Ghana card. Then you have a case. Now you don't have people having the Ghana card. And then the NIA is also limited in issuing because they have not been designed to work with deadlines.
Passport data, DVLA data, maybe, okay, NIA, because they are directly in charge of the Ghana card, they must have the data. But passport biometric data, DVLA biometric data, where are they? Are they with passport office and DVLA office separately?
I think that's what is happening. So because I'm not sure they ask anybody if you had a card, so you put it into your Ghana card, your NIA system. So it means that the DVLA, they also have their centralized system there. So they register the car as something that you own, but they authenticate your identity as a Ghanaian or foreigner. So they know this car is owned by a Ghanaian or a foreigner.
And does that make technological sense?
For me, if it was centralized with the NIA, it would have saved government money. But because they also want to manage their database at that point, that's why they also designed that. NCA is also doing the same thing. As for me, they should all talk together. They should build one body of data assets that they can all tap into.
I mean, at this point, yes, we are urging government to get a centralized database. We want a national ID card, yes. But the processes that we're going through, why should it be so? Is it about an institution that wants its data? Yes, any institution should have its data. But what's the difficulty having a centralized one that every institution can tap in from? If at this point in time we cannot merge or centralize the data for institutions to be picking from, at what point are we going to put it all together? Is it when we are done with Ghana card registration, which should be a continuum? Even SIM card should be continuum. Is it, when are we going to centralize it? Or when do you think it's appropriate for us to centralize it? Or what is the strategy government putting in place to just do that?
I think we should do it right now. Since the government is pushing a lot of digitalization agenda, I think this is the point to do that so that we sync all the data assets into one. So we have one super centralized system, and then the rest talk to that same system. This is the time to do it.
This is the time for us to centralize.
Yes.
Now, let me come to the telcos. How are they not able to release data on SIM card registrations to government data institutions?
That's a hydra-headed question. I think that there's a policy that governs SIM registration, so that at every point in time, if you walk into a customer experience center of a telecom company, you are supposed to submit a national ID card, and then a SIM is registered to your name, and that database is available to the regulator. So that is already there, and that's what the telcos have been doing. People think they have been sneaking in unregistered SIM cards. I don't know how they are going to benefit, because government, the regulator, sells the set of numbers to the telcos, and they activate those numbers. And then those numbers are also monitored by the regulators. So I don't see why people will even doubt that. So that system has already been designed. And of course, people think the identification issue was the core of this particular challenge. So they want to have a Ghana card, or a card that supersedes all other identification cards, so you can link it to your SIM cards. I think that's the whole idea they are trying to push the re-registration for.
And technologically, for what has been done already with the telcos, cannot in any way be converted, or we can't make use of that data that's been gathered by the telcos. We can't make use of it in any way. Because what I know is that sometimes you see that government officials are even on campaigns, they start sending you messages, private messages for campaign purposes. You see that these people who do lotteries, they will be sending you messages when you have not signed on to any deal with them. How do they get those, numbers? We see that sometimes they say private, the telcos, we have private contracts with them, so they cannot release our contacts, but they do. From what we experience on our phones, you see that they do.
Yeah, so that is where for you can't blame the telcos fully, because a lot of the times we walk to places where you go and fill in a visitor's logbook, and then you leave your phone number and name and even your signature. Usually, if I walk to an office where I am not comfortable, I will not write the correct number. If I can't even read my number, neither my signature. So where you go and even leave your data is also very crucial. And there's a Data Protection Commission which requires anybody who collects Ghanaians' data to even register as a data controller and even state clearly what they are going to use the data for. Now, the next thing is you register on mobile, a lot of apps where you even input your numbers, your phone numbers, you share with people online. There are robots and apps that crawl all these platforms to fish for phone numbers. You may be there and then you get a call maybe from another country. Lately, it's Seychelles and the rest. Then the number the call hits your phone, but when you pick it, it doesn't connect.
Mm-hmm.
It means there's a robot that's randomizing numbers. So if they pick the call, it means it's an active number. Then they register it as one of the active numbers that they get. Those are things that the policymakers should be thinking about solving, so that people will not have their phone numbers all over the place and people will not be hunting their phone numbers illegally. If somebody sends you an SMS which you didn't request for, you can sue them and you win because it's spamming, which is illegal. The telcos can't solve all those problems. So those are things that we as individuals must also look out for, where we share our phone numbers and who will give it to.
That's some interesting education you're giving us. So when these strange numbers come in, you rather not pick.
Yes, ignore it.
But how will you know this is a fraudulent number or a robotic
so
number?
like I said, so some of these numbers, they hit your phone. So if you see a Seychelles, for example, number, it hits your phone, your phone, you know is not the correct number. So if it comes again, I don't pick it. I just block it. And I always block all those numbers and all that. And these are some of the things that the regulator must work with the MNOs, the mobile network operators, to be able to block some of these things from happening.
So is the regulator going to be able to solve this? For example, the problem you've just stated with the robotic calls that we receive. Should we complete with this re-registration process? Because fraud has been one of the main reasons that's been mentioned as one of the leading reasons why we have to do this re-registration. Can we solve it? Or from where you sit, it doesn't look like we're doing first things first, or we're prioritizing what's important.
Cybercrime comes in various forms, and even in developed countries where they even can identify people by their phone numbers and all that, still they have the highest cybercrime in the world. So I don't see how this SIM re-registration is going to cure cybercrime. It will not happen. And trust me, the fraudsters are not foolish, or excuse me to use those words, stupid people. They will find another way around it. There are other online calls that people can make without a card. So people can still make a call over the internet and the rest. And those are some of the things that we should be looking out for. If a number hits my phone number, if I report that number, then you can go and investigate who owns that number. The person who owns that number can be the current user or the previous user, because maybe they may misplace their phone, they may misplace their SIM card. If they don't go for a new SIM card or have the old one blocked, somebody can have access to the same thing and they will use it for whatever crime they want to commit. So there's a social aspect that we are not looking at for. Most of the crime that is being committed with the SIM cards are social engineering crimes that people call you we want to change your password for you. We know you want you to supply ABCD. If an unknown number calls me trying to strike a business deal with me, I won't take them seriously. So those are things that we need to do public service advertising to educate people about it. The MTNs have been doing it about the mobile money fraud and the rest. These are things that you can do also advertising and educating people about these things than just re-registration. When the re-registration is done, it doesn't cure the problem. People still use registered numbers to scam people. It happens.
So government is
I don't see
misleading
how to
us.
cure this problem. Is government what?
Government is misleading us by that communication.
I won't say they are misleading. It's just that they are trying to solve a problem. They are trying to cure a problem, thinking that SIM re-registration is going to cure all the problems. This is not going to happen. There's a social issue. There's a social canker. There's a social culture that needs to be tackled first before you look at using blaming it on technology. It's just like saying that because somebody stabbed people with knives and they used a lot of cutlass to kill people, we should ban cutlasses or have every cutlass registered. I don't know how that can be done.
Globally, which nation has gone through this exercise and how was it done?
I would say because Nigeria did it. Nigeria did something the same way SIM re-registered. They did extension for almost 9 times, from what I hear, and they ended up killing off almost 75 million SIM cards. That is what I read that happened. But the issue is that that has it stopped the crime in Nigeria? I don't think so. Right? As for identifying people who own various technology assets or devices is very necessary, is very important. That should be what we should be selling than just using the crime as a front.
How did the telcos respond to this exercise as mentioned in the case of Nigeria?
I think they also help the same way because we have MTN there, we have the Blues and the rest also help.
So they
they
allowed these SIMs to be blocked?
Yeah, because government is in charge of the sector. So if government says all these people cannot be identified, they are not registered, and likewise they should not, because every SIM card in Ghana must be registered, duly registered, likewise in those countries. So if they block it, who will lose? The telcos will say, okay, you chopped off 30 million people from my network. Hence, this is my revenue for the year, and then this is the taxes I can pay on it. Somebody will lose somehow, and the government will lose a lot too in revenue if you deactivate a lot of SIM cards. And I'm happy that they are going to graduate the services so that you enjoy some services, not the full bouquet of services on the SIM card till you fully register your SIM card. So that should be extended. It should be something that should be extended.
So, I mean, having a SIM, you said duly, I mean, it can be blocked. They have to allow, the telcos must allow for it to be blocked if you have not duly registered, right? So
I think it's not that the telcos don't have a say in that. Government can can instruct them to block it.
Okay, I cannot go into the agreement telcos have a government, but you see, the SIM is subscriber identity module. Subscriber identity module, and the telcos have gone through the registration process with the customer, so the telcos have the information on you. So you're saying that duly registration at this point means that there is a new system for the registration and you have to go by that, right? Okay. I think I've lost Maximus and I wanted a clarity on that. You're still watching Good Afternoon Ghana. Let's take a breather. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ghana. Let's listen to government spokesperson Palgrave Boache Dankwa, his spokesperson on security and governance.
The app really is one of the technical partners of the National Communications Authority that is doing this to ease the process of other persons that would want to be able to register their SIM in the comfort of their homes or in the comfort of their offices or wherever they find themselves, or even with diplomas that are, because of work, career diplomas because of work, are not residents in country, diasporans that are also not residents within country, students that are also studying on scholarship in various countries around the world. Opportunity just downloading the app and registering their SIM so they don't number. I'm very certain that this of the best decisions that government has made. This app is coming at no cost at all to government. It's coming at no cost as well to any other person, just with the exception of the 5 Ghana cedis that you would pay through the processes that you go through to register yourself. The app is coming at no cost to government. No contract has been signed whatsoever at all. This is one of the technical partners to the Ministry of Communication that is putting together this app. And usually, if these apps are put together, I mean, persons that are consumers of the app, even on our normal day-to-day, people that have iTunes and people that have Spotify, people that are usually even on various platforms on social media, pay for these services. And so it's a normal service of payment that you would pay. Ordinarily, if persons would want to commute from point A to point B to do their registration with any of the telcos, it would come at a cost, which they would be willing to pay in terms of transportation. And so really just sitting in the comfort of your home and paying 5 Ghana cedis for these transactions, I think that is one of the best decisions that we have made to ensure that the 2-month grace period that has been extended till September 30th is met. So we have a sizable number of people not having an excuse of not being able to register their SIM card.
All right, you're welcome back. I'm told Maximus is back on the line. Maximus, thank you for joining us. We're wrapping up. Maximus, can you hear me? Hello, Maximus. Yes, I can hear you. So we're wrapping up. Well, what will be your final submission on this? I was actually asking that the SIM registration is actually subscriber identity module, and we go through the procedure to register. So why must we be put under some pressure as though we have not done what we have to do, and we're being put under some unnecessary obligations by punishing us, sort of, as a government?
I think this is something that governments before this government or whoever, they've all been in power before, should have done long ago. So that if I'm registering a SIM card, there's a way to verify who I am, whether I'm a Ghanaian or not, and I register the SIM card either for private use or for business use. This should have been done long ago.
Is it not because we are now getting very active digitally? Is it not because we're now getting active digitally?
Yeah, of course. That is the thing. But you see, some countries have done this long ago. Identification of citizens have been done long ago. It's not about even the SIM card registration. You should have done the identification of the citizens. You have a database of all your citizens who comes into your country, who lives, who becomes a citizen every year, and wherever they are located. These things are very basic before even you use the same tool to enhance your technology, the presence online, and even identify people who use various online channels. We are talking on Zoom. I can still make Zoom calls. Do I need a phone number? Because there are technologies that are coming up which you can make calls via the internet. Zoom has what they call even a virtual business number or a Zoom phone, right? So you can buy a number on Zoom and use it to make your calls or terminate calls on your phone. These are things that are going to come. And if we are not able to build the database that NIA is doing currently, it's going to be much more difficult managing the people who use internet platforms in Ghana, or who even register people from Ghana. Some countries are even trying to get social media platforms to even register as data controllers in their countries since they are serving there. You know what happened even in Nigeria, where even Twitter and the rest were forced to form, open an office in Nigeria, have a country director and the rest. Those are things that are going to happen. So I advise that let's do this process, let's stagger it, so we can get more people to register, so we can have more cleaner data, and then we can link the SIM cards. And trust me, people change SIM cards too as well. It's not permanent. People can register a new SIM card, they can change their SIM cards, they can give their SIM card to a relative to use and the rest. Those are things that will even crop up later on.
Right.
So let's do it gently and let's free the app. Let the app free so that people can do link their Ghana card with their SIM cards for free.
Right. Maximus and Ametorgoh, thank you so much for speaking to us here on Good Afternoon Ghana. He's a tech analyst joining us via Zoom. That's all time will allow us here on Good Afternoon. And I hope that we will take our time and do the registration. If you have, some free period within this time, just do it before September. Let's see how that goes going forward. But we'll continue the analysis, on subsequent programs as well. Entertainment Review is next for the team.